Hello and welcome back everyone to Master Game Design, Unreal Engine 5 Stylized Environment and Third-Person Blueprint course. In the last lesson we left ourselves off with setting a nice variation for the modular pieces, but we're still not quite there in regards to the overall setup. The main thing that we need to do now is we need to make sure that the silhouettes are not just perfect squares. We need to have a shape that's in a half and one shape that's going to be completely neutral, so we could just add it in just in case where we want to maybe add like balconies or something of the sort, or maybe just a simple type of a block. So we already more or less done it with this actually on this section, that is, and I'm just wondering if we should just reuse that. And after some thought, I'll probably start with adding it like that half block I was talking about first for this area. So let me just go ahead and do that. The way I'll do it is actually quite simple. I'll just go to the top-down view, go to one of the parts, one of the pieces, and actually just select these parts over here. Just select most of it. I'm just dragging the thing across, so in half more or less, then holding Alt, duplicating, and there should be a missing wall, which is exactly what we want. We're also going to delete the block at the bottom and kind of just rotate this around so it'll be nicely positioned like so. Then afterwards, what we need to do is just we need to probably delete the... I'm thinking about the actual section over here, if we need to delete it or not. And I reckon we will need to go ahead and delete it. And I just realized that we had two of these actually in this area. So we're going to go ahead and fix that up real quick before moving on. I'm just going to delete it like so. And yeah, we definitely had two of these in the area, so that was a mistake on my part. It caused them to overlap, and I do want the wooden parts to be more visible. So I think the easiest way for me to fix it would be to just drag it up to the side like so. Hide it behind it a little bit. I'm going to take it off this, and yeah, this looks quite alright. I think I'm going to leave it as this. Quite like this setup. Maybe just lower it down a little bit like that. I think that's okay. All right, I'll do the same for this one as well. I'm going to just bring it out to the side, just like that, and put it downwards a little bit like so. Okay, this looks quite all right. Let's go ahead and move on to this piece now, back onto this part. And for this, yeah, I think we're just going to take off the balcony for this particular part. I don't want this to have any openings actually. And the reason being is that we just wanted to be able to help us with breaking the slump section quite a bit. And actually I'll delete this part and just hold Alt, take this to the side and remove this as well. Bring this to the back. And I'm thinking of whether or not I should place the walls. And do remember talking about the walls being rotated the right way so we could replace them. But I think in this particular part we don't even need them set up like that. I think that's going to be quite alright. Although we could easily switch them over the walls with the ones that have windows as well. I don't think it's quite needed for the slum. It's not going to give any additional type of a better look for this area. That is why I'm going to pretty much keep it as is. There you go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just get the same style as we had for all the other ones. So we're just going to make sure that the style and the setup is going to look identical to what we had. I'm going to make sure I grab the different type of roof and just reposition it a little bit like so. There we go. It looks quite alright. Except for the other part, so I might need to just extend it just a little bit like so. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Quite like the setup. For this part, we're going to go ahead and just close this down actually like so. I think that's going to be quite alright. We're going to keep it one side, basically one side of an angle completely empty, while the other one is going to have some windows, and that way we'll be able to just make use out of both sides to them fullest. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to just move this window. Maybe I'll just delete it straight away and just put a second window over here. Actually, I'll go ahead and maybe even delete this window like so. And we could just have these two windows like this. I think that's going to look quite alright. Yeah, that looks quite alright. Maybe we need to also set up the grid back to 10. And Yeah, that looks quite nice. Okay, so we got ourselves, as you can see, like a different type of shape, which is going to help us a huge amount. Then the other thing that we need to do is basically we need to consider how we're going to set it up with a more of a casual look. So I think we can just steal it from this bottom piece. I'm going to hit Shift and G, and I'm going to just grab all of these pieces at the bottom, just like that, like so. And I'm going to see if I can simply make use of it. I'm going to hold Shift, duplicate it off to the side, like so. I'm going to put up the same roof that we had, just like that. And so, there we go. Now the other thing that we need to do is basically change up these pillars, since they look more luxurious than they need to be. Especially for the slum area, they don't need to be that. I'm going to actually change it up to this, and looks quite alright. Just need to bring these outwards actually just a little bit, like so. For this part, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it and just grab the other wall from the other side. Plunk it down like so. So it's just going to be more or less an empty block, which is actually going to be quite alright. It's going to look a little different, especially since these two have, as you can see, two squished pillars, and this one is just one pillar. But all in all, in regards to the overall aesthetics, it's going to be quite alright. I'm going to actually make this, push it down a little bit, like so. Alright, so to fix the bottom, as we did previously, I'm just going to grab these pieces over here. Going to hold Alt and just bringing it up to the side. And we're almost done with ourselves with the setup. I'm just bringing it inwards like so. A bit hard to see, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the section, to the selection, select this all, bringing it upwards like so. And now I'm going to go ahead and select these blocks again, just squishing it inwards quite a bit. Still visible? It's still visible. I don't quite like this, so I'm going to go ahead and just squish it down even more. Still visible in this end, so I'm going to continue on doing this with the squishing. There you go. Okay, so rescaling it a little bit so it would look quite alright. I'm going to keep this base as is. That's going to be quite alright. It's going to allow us to just break it out a little bit and have those overhangs that these wouldn't allow because the foundation is so big. But yeah, all in all, this is looking quite good. We got some nice setup with these. Like so. I'm not going to worry about putting the windows here. The reason being is that sometimes we just will need some blocks that will just fit in that specific shape when working with the urban setting. So we will need to make sure that the certain windows or anything like that don't overlap in some areas. All right, now that we have it like so, we'll actually, I'm considering about lowering or raising up this. Yeah, I'm going to lower down this this roof. I'm going to just squish it down a little bit, like so. Checking if it has like a nice overhang, which it does. And the rest is consistent with the setup. The sides are consistent. Just checking basically everything from all sides, making sure that they look nice overall as building blocks. And once we're happy with that, we're basically going to go ahead and combine them all into meshes and then use them as combined static meshes. So we're actually running out of time. We're going to continue on with this in the next lesson. Thank you so much for watching.